Hello and welcome back. So in the last video, we discussed about the running sum and now we'll discuss about the moving average. So there are certain DAX which is, like I said, it was available as a predefined calculations as a template. So there are certain things which we can make use of that. But apart from that, there are new functions which is added specifically for these visual calculations. So running sum is one of them. And now we are going to discuss about the moving average. So add some moving average on the axis, moving average, which is basically the same functions. If you also see it here on the shortcut too, which is it refers here as an index kind of windows and offset. So few months back, Microsoft has also launched new DAX function, which is index, offset, and window functions. So these are all a part of those functions. We can also get the same output using that function, but that is we can use it for the regular DAX expressions. And this one running some moving average, these are all kind of thing which only works within the visual. So we are now considering the visual calculations. So we need to consider only this DAX function. So now moving on. So let me hide this one. So let's enable the moving average. So this moving average is basically, if I just copy and paste this visual, and we'll just start with the basics first, and then we'll go much deeper after that. So let me just have this one, which is a daily sales transaction, which I have from the fact table. And these are the internet sales. And here the moving average of the 30 days. So how they in the 30-day frequency, how this changing this average of internet sales. If I convert this into a line chart, now I am able to see this information, which is pretty good. So the yellow line which is showing up here is basically the regular daily internet sales. And the green line which is showing up here is basically the average internet sale which we are happening generally. That's how it is. So some cases it will be higher, some cases it will be lower. So here you can see it here 30,000, and after that the moving average is 23. Whereas here in this case it is 15,000, but moving average is 17,000. So that's how it will be like that. That is usual way. So if you have a kind of requirement that you need to calculate the moving average, then you have to write multiple DAX functions in order to work as a regular DAX. But when in a visual calculation, it is as simple as that. Just click on this icon and then click on edit calculations. But if you're just coming up for the first time for this video directly, then I recommend you to watch the previous video as well, because I have covered much more detail about the introduction. But still, I will just give you an overview. First of all, you need to turn on this files option and setting, turn on the preview feature, and then you'll be able to see this home tab, a new calculation which is showing up here under the calculation area. So once you select any visual, then once you select any visual, then only it will be visible here. If I don't select any visual, then it will just turn off this visual, because this is only for the visual level. So once you click on that, you need to click on the visual calculations. It will open up a new window like this. But if you want to edit here, you can just need to click on this arrow and then click on edit calculations. So once you do so, it will be open up this window. On the top, you will see the actual graph, and then you will see this address bar here, which is formula bar. And here at the bottom, you will see the matrix, because everything converts here as a matrix itself behind the scene. So here we have this regular date and internet sales, and this is the moving average. This is actually nothing but I use this template here, FX, and then click on the second one, which is basically the moving average. If I click on that, then it actually brings up this value, which is moving average, field, and the window size. These are all a kind of important thing which we need to pass. So here, the field value, which is I'm showing up here as an internet sale, which is this one. And if I add comma here, again, now you see this one, it actually giving the expression and windows without this square bracket. It means these two are the mandatory fields. And after that, they include current and axis, blank, and reset are all optional. So here, internet sales I'm using up here, the period which I want this to be have a 30 days of an average. I mean, the moving average of 30 days I want to show up on the graph. That's why here, this will take the average calculations which behind the scene, but we just need to use the moving average here. So 30 days for this one. And after that, if I click comma, so I have certain things here, which is now you can see we have these four options. Basically this is the first one, which contains all the options, which is include current. Do you want to consider this current row as well or not? Which is for the 1st January 2011, you want to consider this value or not. That's the requirement here. If you want to, yes, by default it will be yes. So if you want to use that, then you can use that. If you don't, then you can also use false here. If I go back to this one, moving average, for example, inside to that, we'll see this option, which is include current. Option A, which is optional, logical value specifying whether or not to include the current row in a range. Default value is true. So it will consider the default value if you don't pass any value here. So axis is nothing but how you want to go by rows or columns like that. So this is for the future use for the blanks, and the reset option I will also discuss that. Okay, so this is the one which we need to pass here. So I'm going to pass this axis as a rows, and the blanks we will not going to consider that, and reset option. What other four we have it here? So click here is going to remove one by one option here like it was usual way. So in that case, we don't need to pass comma, comma, comma here. We want to apply anything, it will understand what we are actually passing up here. So right now, the window size, and even though we are just use the rows, and even if you don't pass any rows, it will not going to have any impact. By default, it will calculate at the row by row level itself. So now this is actually doing this calculations for every month here. But if you want to make any understanding how this actually works, so let's try a different small one. So I want to have a moving average of the 3 days here in that case. It means here is we are just referring here as the window size, right? Not actually the days. Exactly, you're right. So what I mean to say here is right now we use the date column here. That's why I'm referring here as a date. But actually in reality, it's actually referring to these number of rows basically. So instead of using date, if we change something else, then we'll see what will happen to that. First of all, we'll just focus on this one. And now I'm just changing it to 3 and then click on commit. You see the value has changed here, this green. And also you also change the value change from here. So if I just open up the calculator again and then add these three values, which is 7157 plus 15012 plus 14313 divided by 3. This is 12160, which is exactly the same way. And if I add the next three, which is this one, 15012 plus 14313 plus 7856 divided by 3, which is 12393. Yeah, exactly. So these three values, it is showing up and these values showing up here. So it's perfectly calculating based on our inputs here. Now, instead of using this as a full date alternate key, what if I want to change it by another value, which is basically the product, for example, or the customer. So, but I want to go with the product here. So remove this one, we'll get an error here because it depends on this axis. So let's drag and drop the English product name onto this area. Now you see the graph looks a bit different because the reason it sorts by alphabetic order and we have a different sales here, and based on that it values here. So if we do the calculation again, just to try out, which is the 3 days itself, the first value is 37842 plus 18942 plus 6909 divided by 3, which is 21203, which is showing up here perfectly right. All right. So the reason why I use this product is basically because the 3 is actually not the days, but in reality, we are actually generally used to do it moving average by days itself or by month kind of thing. So 3 here doesn't refer to the day, it actually refers to the window size, how we want to make the calculation, the data point I can say. So 3 rows basically we can also consider here. If you are going by row level. If you're going by column by column, then it means that it's going by 3 columns in that case. I hope this is clear for you now. So let's go back here and change it again to this dim date table. And here I'd like to use the full date alternate key. Yeah. So right now, if I go back here and edit the calculation again to just 30 days here and click on. So here we also have a reset option. So what does it actually mean about the reset? Okay, so this is right now showing for everything. Now you want to show this moving average by different region in that case, right? So if you can also add any other value onto this x-axis here. So for example, if I scroll down and add a sales territory group on top of this value, right? So this is right now, if I go to this, move a little level up. Now we can see nothing changes here. It's just showing up the plain value because it actually works the 30 days period. So we don't have a 30 number here in that case. So if I just scroll, level down, drill down, it's just giving me some different value here, which is by days. Moving average, that is working perfectly fine for North America. And this is still going on for North America itself. If I move here, yeah, it's going till North America itself. That's cool. I think it is filtered to North America. That's why it is showing up here only North America. Maybe it's have too many data here. That's why. All right. So in order to simplify that, so let's do a way. If I go back here and select this thing, which is now let's go back again to this visual itself. So clicking here, 3 days and edit calculation. All right. So if I just select this sales territory here, double click here, it is not changing up here, but here on the visual, we can change that. So we can change the sort axis. It has to be sales territory. And now it is showing up North America. You see, it is changed now to Pacific. So that's how cool it is. So we have all the data here and it's actually working same way as we need here. So now if I scroll down, the Pacific will be not, we'll have a small data for Pacific. So July, August, September, it's going down. Instead of month, so with the interest of time, let's add up here another column, which is year month. All right, so let's remove this date here. So right now we have a sales territory group and then we have a year month. So this is also calculating exactly the same way, which is 30-day period of this one. Now we have this North America and then we have a Europe and then we have a Pacific here. How cool is this? So this one, basically, if I scroll down, it actually not resetting up the value here. You see, it actually going further down, which is 30 levels. I mean, 30 rows here, right? It consider these 30 rows also from here section as well. So if you want to reset it at every sales territory group, so in that case, you need to add a comma here and you need to use the reset option. The reset is nothing but here you need to mention the sales territory group, but in reality, this will not work. So if I click on commit, it will give an error here, was successfully resolved, but argument 4 was unused here. So it means instead of using this sales territory group, we just need to mention it here as lowest parent or highest parent. Here in our case, we want to reset at every lowest parent. So I'd like to give it as the lowest parent itself. So in this case, the lowest parent is this one and even highest parent is also this one because we don't have a much hierarchy level. So that's totally fine. And if I just scroll down now, yeah, you see now this is showing up here 258 and then start from this value again. So it means it is now resetting at every sales territory group, every category level. And also you can see it on the graph here. This goes the green line here and then it drops. But from here it start actually, and also you can see this window here, which actually drops and then start from again for the Europe here. And moving on to the right side, again, it drops here, both the things, and then it starts from the new one, which is the, you can see this line here, dot, dot, dot lines here, and start from again for the North America. So it resetting at every category, I mean, territory group level, and then restarting again the moving average calculations. So if you have such kind of requirement, you can just also make use of this functionality. This is pretty cool and amazing way how we want to use the moving average. So, but to do this in the regular DAX expression, it will be a lot of effort to do that. But within the visual calculation, it is really super cool so that we can also make use of this one. So let's check again. So what are the things which is remains on this particular thing, which we have not covered, which is expression, window size, axis, blanks, and reset. Yeah, pretty cool. So we covered almost everything here. So for this one, the way how you want to calculate the rows or columns or rows, we already discussed about this in the running sum, but similarly, you can also apply that here. But right now the column will not work here because there is no column axis available at the moment. So that's why it will not work here for this particular chart. This is a detailed video about it. So if you like this video, just hit the big thumbs up button. If you're new to this channel or if you haven't subscribed it, just hit the subscribe button and also press the bell icon to get the latest notifications. But make sure to turn on the notification on your devices. Share it with your friends and colleagues. If you have any queries and feedback, let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.